Hey YouTubers, it's Tony. So this is the part about actually whipping the rope. So it's really good to know how to splice and how to whip rope. Splicing is when you get a fid, and it's basically like a giant needle, and you weave the rope inside of itself. And if you have a core and a jacket, you do some important things to cause it to lock into itself, and then you have a loop. So this is whipping, and this is so that you can secure the end of the line. And so here we go. First thing you do is you make a loop like this, and then you start wrapping it around like this. Now, the nice thing about whipping is that the end is going to fray, all right? And that is intentional. You want the end to fray. The reason being is that frayed end will not beat up the paint on your boat after it does it 55,000 times when you're sailing. So a lot of times people say, well, burn the end. Well, that's a really hard thing when you burn the end, and that can actually cause wear when it slaps up against your boat. So I don't like burning the end of my rope. It does.
Let's take a look. Get close.
Oops. So you have to be careful not to overlap another wrap. So you want them to be side by side, and as much as possible. I mean, you know, it's still gonna do well, but it looks better when it's side by side. All right.
So when you get it where you want it, we'll take a close-up video to show
Okay.
the cords together.
Good idea. Good idea. I'm trying to go a little bit faster here. Okay, so we're gonna call that a done deal. So now what you do,
Close.
and now what you do, you can see I got a little imperfection right there, but not bad, not bad. So now what you do is you put your line through the loop, okay, like that. And now you grab this end here and you pull it through. And now this is going to bury inside the line. So watch this. Pull this and it kind of buries inside there like that. And you do it about halfway. Now that's a little too far. I'm gonna pull it back through with this end. Yeah, right there, about halfway. And kind of getting in a little bit of a hurry, but there we go. Rolled it back off. Nice, nice. So I recovered that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to take this needle and we're going to move over here to this Lumar winch handle. This is going to be our base plate to press the needle through. So the first thing we do, all right, go ahead and get it right here, is we're going to go through here, right where that line exits, and we're going to go through, directly through. And now I like to use something hard to push it through. And we want to come out on the other side, 180 degrees from where I inserted the needle. We want it to exit. So we come out. Okay, so you notice how it's poking through there. That's not okay. So we're gonna come back a little bit and angle it so that it exits right there. That's what we want, right at the end of our wrap. Now you pull it through, okay? And you give it keep it snug. And now you come directly across and go right there. And so now we use our backing plate here and come through very similar to how we did it, or exactly how we did it before. And you come through. So now that's a little off. So now we're gonna back that out and try it again. There it is, that looks good. So now we pull that through. Okay, and now, see how it is? And that locks that wrap down, and it really locks it nicely. So now we're gonna go in there, push it through, and come out the other side, right where we began. So now we're back where we began, and we're gonna double it. So now we do that, and then we go in again, so we have a double. And now that hole is already established, so it should be a little easier the second time around to go through. There we go. And so now we come back through again. All right, and there's our first double, and now we're gonna put it through here and have our second double. Very nice. Okay, sorry for moving all over the place, guys. Hope I'm not making anybody dizzy. All right, so now I'm gonna come over 90 degrees, a quarter of the way around, and now, yep.
Just repeat it?
Yep, exactly. Now we're going to repeat the process.
So, I'll get back a little bit to make it so that...
Stephanie is such a good camera operator. I appreciate you
There we go.
being so conscientious.
You're welcome.
All right, so now here we are. So now we're gonna come across like that. And right there. Now we're gonna use our backing plate. Nice, that's actually perfect. Okay. Come through. Boom. Come over here. And go through. Use our backing plate. Is that right? I think right there might be a little better. I hear some dogs barking.
Yeah, there's people on a wave runner. I think it's their dogs might be barking. All right, so we can let you continue that, and then we will take a picture of the
idea.
final finished product.
Yeah, actually, let me just finish this real quick. And let me just finish this. I know this is gonna be a long-ish video, but this is such a, go ahead and get over here, honey. This is such an important thing to know, and there is something unique on finishing this. And so now, one more like this. Like that. And now back through here.
So each time that you secure all those wraps, you do it twice around. Is that correct? Yep. A little technical issue going on. It's kind of a joke. It's not real technical at all. It's just a nylon thread.
Yeah. There we go. Got it. Okay. So now back through. Okay.
Cool.
So that is our last double. So now what we're going to do is we're going to lock this line in so it doesn't come unraveled. And this is a pretty important part of the process. So let's lock this line in now. And what you do is you go back in where you just exited at a 45-degree angle toward the rear of the rope. And you come out, okay, pull it through, and then you go in again. You go in again right where you came out so you can't see it at a 45, and you go through, pull it out,
Nice.
go back in again where you just came out, right? You see how we're burying this inside itself? All right, Stephanie, can you go get a lighter?
Yes.
Thank you. So now, we're gonna simply cut this right here where it ends, but we're gonna cut it and leave about a 1/4 inch or so here. Okay, now if you would get a knife and cut it with a 1/4 inch still showing.
You know.
Good deal. All right, now I'll let you have the camera back. And we're gonna go ahead and burn this now. And now that is not going to pull back through. So this...
Get close up to that real quick. Like right there. Hold on. Too many people.
Okay. So now the last thing we want to do is burn that little piece of line that that was the beginning of our loop. So that's not coming through either. So this is a properly whipped line, a little too much fraying, so you can cut it right about there perhaps. But when that hits your boat, it's not gonna damage your boat. It's not gonna damage your gel coat. And that, guys, is how you whip a nylon rope. That's not how you whip Dyneema. Dyneema has a little bit different conclusion. Everything else is the same except the end on Dyneema. But this is how you whip a rope, and thank you for watching our video.
Get real close. That's a pretty clean looking whip.